What's up, TBS crew? It's your boy Steph, back with another reaction. This time we have Creepypasta. They've taken our tongues, Creepypasta, uploaded October 10th, 2019. Now y'all already know down in the description will be links to Creepypasta's channel, this original video, and all of my social medias. Without further ado, let's get into it. This sounds like it's gonna be fucking disgusting.
I knew something was wrong when Greg came home and didn't so much as give me a kiss before he ran into our bathroom. Obviously, the first thing I did was run after him, knocking on the door after finding it was locked. "Is something wrong, dear? Are you sick? I thought you'd be out fishing for a few more hours," I asked. Greg's response made something inside my skin crawl. "Everything's all right," I heard his voice respond in a tone far too chipper than the look of sheer panic I saw on his face when he sped past me. "What's for dinner tonight?" What did you catch?" I tested the doorknob, finding it locked. "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't catch a damn thing." Greg gave the most hollow laugh I've ever heard. "How about you make some of your delicious lasagna? I've got quite the appetite." "Is everything okay in there?" I gave the doorknob another pull, only for Greg to pull it open a few inches and poke his head through. Everything about his expression was wrong. His smile was as wide as it could physically go, but his eyes were filled with terror. "Everything's fine," he said before slamming the door again. I wasn't born yesterday. Something was very wrong, but I chose to get dinner started instead of pursuing the matter further. He looked all right, except for his eyes. I figured he might have gotten sick from pounding too many beers at the lake and just didn't want to tell me, even if he went about it in the most unsettling way. The lasagna was in the oven when I went to go check on Greg again. He was still barricaded in the bathroom. I knocked before saying, "Greg, do you need something?" I heard a muffled sob before he responded, "Everything's fine. Are you making green beans too? I am famished." Now I knew this was something more than just some bellyache because of cheap beer. I grabbed a pin off my side table and began prodding at the lock. "Greg, you're not fine. Whether you like it or not, I'm coming in," I snapped. "No, please. It smells like a sewer in here. You really don't want to do that. Stay out. Go make dinner like a good partner. Greg, you better hope you're dying, because if you accuse me of being anything but a good husband..." I felt the lock pop, and I shoved the door open, taking one step inside before nearly slipping in a puddle of blood. My partner was sitting on the toilet, clutching a dripping razor between his fingers. His lips were cut and oozing red, his right cheek slashed open to the molars, giving him the most sinister of exaggerated smiles. I gasped, running to his side. "Greg? Jesus Christ, what happened to you?" Greg dropped the razor, and with a distorted scream, he grabbed onto his lower jaw and yanked down to reveal what was inside of his mouth. It looked like some sort of bug. Silvery in color, with spiny, thin legs boring right under his teeth. It had gotten a grip onto his tongue, swallowing it down right to the base. Just as I was finally getting a good look, Greg's mouth slammed shut, taking the tip off the 4 fingers that were between his teeth. Tears sprouted at the corners of his eyes as he dropped his hand, cradling his maimed fingers against his chest. "Oh my God, Greg, we gotta take you to the hospital," I said, although I made no attempt to get to the phone. What the hell was that thing inside my husband's mouth? "Dear," Greg swallowed, his eyes leaking more tears. "Everything is fine. I think the lasagna is burning. How about you go tend to that? I shook my head. Is that thing controlling what you say? Greg nodded before he made this pain gurgle, blood squirting out of his slashed cheek. Whatever that thing was doing inside his mouth, he was in the worst kind of pain. Jesus Christ. I picked the razor off the ground. Can you open your mouth? Or does it have control of that too? He shook his head to the negative. Another spurt of blood came from his cheek, and Greg nearly fell off the toilet. It took all my strength to drag Greg into the bedroom. I finally managed to get him on the bed before I held up a finger. I'll be right back. Don't you move a muscle, I said, before I ran to the kitchen. I did take the definitely burned lasagna out of the oven before I grabbed a knife block and a wooden spoon. When I got back to the bedroom, Greg was looking pale, his unmangled fingers clutching onto the quilt so tight, I swear it was going to tear. All right, we got this, dear. We've been through worse, right?
What?
I lied as I set down the knives.
I'm about to say.
You dick, don't you cut me. I flinched as Greg screamed at me, bloody spittle landing on my cheek. And you know Greg would never call me a dick. Do you even know my name? I said as I started going through my knives. Butcher's knife wouldn't be precise enough. Wasn't going to take the risk of accidentally killing Greg while cutting this little parasite out. You don't need one. You just need to listen to what I tell you to do. What was worse was hearing this nasty filth coming from Greg's mouth. And what you need to do is get the hell out of my partner. I snapped before I worked in prying open his mouth. It was harder than you think. I nearly lost my fingers twice before I finally got the spoon in there at an angle to keep it open.
It's too late.
The creature inside growled as I picked up a steak knife and began poking at it.
He threw.
It writhed, and I heard an inhumane hiss before Greg's eyes popped wide open.
Stick a fork in him. He done.
He wasn't screaming with his mouth, but he was with his eyes. I bit my bottom lip until it bled as I began slicing through the legs it had embodied into his jaw. The legs were thin, no bigger than a piece of straw, so they cut pretty easily. I got through all the ones on the right side before the spoon snapped. I jerked my finger back in time to avoid getting my fingers chopped off. Greg chewed up the spoon in his mouth before spitting it into my face. Go away, he growled. I sat back in my chair, shaking my head. I'm not leaving until you leave Greg, I said. Then we're going to be here a long time. When I managed to pry open Greg's mouth again, I discovered that the parasite had regrown its legs. Once again inserted in Greg's jaw. He mockingly snickered as I let his mouth close. All right, first round goes to you, but I'm going to be right back, I said, shaking my finger at him before running into the kitchen. When I returned with a metal spoon, Greg's body was so still, I thought he was dead. I ran to his side, giving him a shake. His bloodshot eyes popped open, and I felt his hands grab onto my shoulder before I was slammed into the floor. Dazed, I stayed still as Greg pinned me down before roughly kissing me. I felt something slide into my mouth before he got up in a jerky motion. He sat down on the bed and grinned, the parasite poking out of his slashed cheek. The smooth thing inside my mouth wriggled about before I felt my tongue be bitten off. I screamed as my mouth filled with blood, the creature attaching itself to the stub left behind for my tongue. I desperately clawed at my lips, trying to get past my teeth to grab onto the parasite. When I opened my mouth to scream, all that came out was a flood of blood. I passed out as I felt those tiny legs drill into my jaw.
Oh, hell no.
It's taken my tongue and mouth. I have no control of it. I feel it squirming around. Greg's gone. He left a note saying he'll be back soon and to have dinner ready for when he gets back. I can feel my body go numb as its control starts to grow. They've taken our tongues, and they're going to take the rest of us too.
I would have left him alone. I hate to say it, I really do, but he was done from the beginning. No. Greg, he would have been SOL fucking around with me. Because once I saw what was in Greg's mouth, be like, Greg, me and you are good friends, but there's nothing that can be done for you at this point. I don't want to leave you. I really don't. At the same time, I kind of do, because exactly what happened at the end of the story. What was in him somehow found its way inside of you. Now you're fucked. And ain't no need for that. Ain't no need for both of us to be getting the business. Ain't no need for both of us to be getting got. Ain't no need, my bad. Ain't no need for both of us to meet an untimely and uncomfortable demise at the hands or claws or nails or whatever of this parasite. Like, no, like, there's nothing I can do for you. You're done. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's taking your tongue. Either you got what was inside of his mouth, or one somehow got into yours. A different one got into yours. Because now that I'm looking at the title, really, it says, they've taken our tongue. It didn't say, it has taken our tongues. It would signify that it being only one. They've means two or more. So I'm assuming there's a lot of these things roaming around. And yeah, long story short, Greg, you would have been fucked, because I would have left your ass. Like, I would have called an ambulance, the police, pest control, someone. But just me by my lonesome, ain't nothing I can do for you, player. Hey, it's been real. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. If you enjoyed the reaction, leave a like, a comment, and share the video. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel, join the TBS crew, and tap that bell icon so you will get notified every time your boy Steph drop new content, which I do on a weekly basis. That is all I got for y'all this time around. Your boy Steph is out.